This is the Iowa Weather Report for Friday, December 13th, 2013. Now our first look at the 0Z GFS model run. At noon today, we still have a flow coming out of the west and northwest across the area. We have a system moving across the New Mexico into the Texas Panhandle. That's going to bring moisture up from the south, and that could bring a little bit of rain activity across Missouri down into Oklahoma and Texas. And with a little system coming in from the north and west, that could merge into quite a somewhat significant snowstorm for the far southeastern counties of the state into the Ohio River Valley and the Great Lakes. Accumulations across the state from maybe a dusting at most across most of the state to maybe a couple inches, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 inches across far southeast Iowa. Then it gets colder here Sunday, but then the temperatures will start to moderate a little bit again. Some snow across New England, the Great Lakes, a little bit of rain across the southeast. Another system coming down could bring us some snow maybe on Monday across the area. Temperatures will start to moderate by this point, highs in the 20s to maybe lower to maybe even some mid-30s in the southwestern counties of the state, we can only hope. And maybe a skosh cooler here on Tuesday. The heights come down, so temperatures likely in the 20s across the state. Some snow across the northern and eastern lakes into New England. And that system off to our northwest across the western part of Canada is going to start to develop. You can see that here on Wednesday. High pressure moving into the North Dakota and Minnesota. But this quick moving pattern is going to bring that storm that's over British Columbia and Alberta toward us here on Thursday. You can see the Gulf begins to open up a little bit, so we could see some rain or a wintry mix develop here Thursday across the state, as highs will be in the 20s to lower to mid-30s. Then it gets interesting. Next Friday, there's the trough, and this is a very sharp trough, as you can see here. The energy digging into the Four Corners region. We have a southwesterly flow, and that's going to mean a lot of interesting weather. One low pressure over New Mexico, one over the Great Lakes. Temperatures will be falling throughout the day here next Friday. Rain changing to snow. We could see some blizzard conditions nearby. Looks awful. Then it gets a little calmer going into the extended period, Christmas Eve. Pretty much a flow coming out of the west, but then it's coming straight out of the Arctic. So it's going to remain somewhat cold for the rest of the period through the rest of December. Maybe a little bit of snow activity, likely highs in the teens to maybe the lower to middle 20s. A little bit of precipitation in the Great Lakes and also in the northwest. At the end of the forecast, the 28th, we have pretty much a flow coming pretty much out of the north and west. Some energy across the Great Lakes into eastern Canada and New England. And with that looks to be somewhat calm around here. High pressure moving in. That's going to bring more cold conditions in, maybe down below zero. In fact, maybe well below zero if this is right. Snow in the Great Lakes and some rain and snow in the plains, and maybe a little bit of thunder in the south. Watch the satellite image from last evening. We had the system moving across Texas and New Mexico with a few clouds. That'll be the system that'll produce the snow later today into tonight across the southeastern counties. In the watch warning map, you can see the winter storm watch across Missouri, along with the winter weather advisory across Illinois, all of Indiana and the adjacent states, and wind chill advisory across the U.S.-Canadian border in North Dakota and Minnesota. The QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days goes through Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock, showing any precipitation is going to be rather light, and the heaviest over the south and up the east coast, and also over the Pacific, north and west.